say what you will about Activision and Blizzard, and believe me, there's a lot to say, but you gotta give them credit. They managed to build out decades of lore for just 2 games that, up until recently, didn't even have a story mode. It was all just built-in trailers surrounding the games, which presented an interesting opportunity to myself due to the premise of this show, turning a video game story into a multi-season TV show. So, let's do that with what else but Overwatch. So, anyone who has examined the Overwatch timeline and storyline throughout the years knows that it's fairly segmented, and we're going to be using those segments to, well, create our seasons, with seasons 1 and 2 focusing on the Omnic Crisis, the massive war against the robots that Overwatch was founded during. As for a structure, it would the seasons will mostly follow a structure similar to that of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, with several disparate stories taking place over the course of a few years, with several characters dipping in and out of the plot and using various framing devices as a connective tissue, with Season 1 focusing on the build-up to Overwatch's formation, with multiple 1 or 2 part episodes introducing us to the original team: Jack Morrison, Torbjorn Lindholm, Anna Amari, Gabriel Reyes, and Reinhardt, whose name I've forgotten. Sorry, Reinhardt. And then Season 2 would focus on Overwatch post-formation and them fighting against the Omnics, where we get to see a lot of stuff like Torbjorn coming under attack and Reinhardt saving him. Something that would be kind of cool to focus on is Jack Morrison and Gabriel Reyes' friendship, just to, twist the knife more when their inevitable falling out causes the Overwatch Civil War. All that kind of stuff. Ending with the Overwatch team facing off against one of the biggest Omniums in the world, and forcing the Omnics into suing for peace. And that would lead us into Season 3, is where we see a bit more of the more common characters in the Overwatch series. Characters like Sojourn would become a recurring cast member, and we'd also zoom out to see characters that aren't directly affiliated with Overwatch, like Hammond and Roadhog. As well as, this would likely also be where we first run into Genji and Hanzo, having that massive fight that we hear about but never actually see, that results in Hanzo going into self-exile, believing that he had killed Genji. We'd also see the Horizon Lunar Base stuff leading into Winston, Mercy joining up, and just see the Overwatch generation, be the Overwatch generation, with characters like Anna Amari's daughter and Brigitte, as well as see what Overwatch really was doing during, their golden age. Probably also seeing stuff like Blackwatch getting founded, the rift between Gabriel and Jack start forming much deeper, and either in this season or the next season would be where Anna Amari fakes her death. Moving on to Season 4, Season 4 would be where we get, we'd finally see Tracer, McCree, Genji fully become a member of Overwatch, well, or rather Blackwatch, Moira joining up with Blackwatch, and everything moving in this season towards the Overwatch Civil War that resulted in the destruction of the Switzerland base and Overwatch becoming decommissioned. Mostly stuff like the attack on Talon led by Blackwatch, resulting in Blackwatch being put into the spotlight, McCree and the Deadlock Gang coming under attack by Blackwatch during the Sting, and McCree joining up with them, and just a bunch of other stuff like Tracer's origins, and wrapping up a lot of the plot lines that we need to stay contained to the era of Overwatch's activity. Season 5 would open with Ana Amari's daughter standing in front of the graves of her, Jack Morrison, and Gabriel Reyes. Basically explaining what all has changed since Overwatch's destruction. From there, we'd zoom out across the next couple of episodes, seeing all of it firsthand. Getting us stuff like Lucio's fight against the Vishkar Corporation, probably having Symmetra in there too. Junkrat's, crime spree. Diva's fight against the Big Omnic in Korea, and Zenyatta and Genji going through that whole training thing so that Genji can achieve inner peace and be ready to talk to his brother. Among other plot lines around that time, including Tracer versus Widow, expanding on that one a bit, and then ending with the attack by Reaper on Winston, leading us directly into Recall. Prepping for the next season, which would be in Season 6, we would start with one of the initial trailers, the one with Winston and Tracer versus Reaper and Widow. But we also focus on Soldier 76 and Reaper's first meeting. We get up to speed on what's been going on with Tracer and Winston in the meantime. We get introduced to Mei with her coming in, with her whole thing being expanded on, to actually let us see what happened during the month or so, I believe it was, that she went out into the ice to try and get back to the mainland, and probably showing Winston and Tracer picking her up in the jet, Doomfist breaking out of jail, Echo being saved by McCree, and Brigitte building her armor. All coming to a head with the season finale being basically being an expanded on 0 Hour, with with all the characters throughout the season that we see getting some kind of tip to go to Paris, and them going to support Winston, aside from characters who obviously weren't there, and then at the end of it, having a much more robust version of 0 Hour, not over in like a battle that ends in 3 minutes. Still having that all hope is lost moment before Genji, Mercy, Brigitte, Reinhardt, all of them show up. And then Season 7 would be whatever is coming out in the next, couple months from now? Where supposedly Overwatch 2 will be getting a story mode. And that's what I think would be best for an Overwatch show. A show that I think would do the marketing for Overwatch in general wonders. But let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to all of you next time. 傷ついて嘘が下手なくせに笑えない笑顔を見せた I love you もろくに